Well, good morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day as we go into question and answer Friday. And say hello to a few this morning. Hoang, I hope I pronounced that right. Rosalinda and Nativity, our faithful Zian, bonjour. Mike and Linda, nice to have you with us. Rosa and Babika. Again, I hope I don't murder that name. Dorita and Nick from our staff and Elaine. Good morning to you. Guys, good to have you on. Jeanette, bonjour. We appreciate you guys. Denise, Nellie, few names that I haven't seen before. Evangeline from Cape Breton, Jordan, our friend from Tennessee, Dave, and Rita from White Rock, British Columbia, Madeleine from Timiskaming, Lees, good morning, and our friend Wendy from Markham, Leslie, good morning to you, Kathy, Deborah, Tracy, and Lisa from Stratford, beautiful, and Diney, Bernice, good morning, Susan from Florida, Rosa from Montreal, right, Rosa? Micheline, good morning, Genevieve, I like that name, Lena, Joy, Kim, our friend from Timmins. Hello, Kim. Barbara from Nova Scotia. Mary Jane. Okay, couple of more we get going. Angèle from Prince Edward County, Ontario. Claudette. Gerald. Again, I think first time I've seen that. Faye, nice to have you on with us. Anne. Kingston. Beautiful. Maria. Helena. Okay, guys, here we go. Question and answer Friday, and I'll come on for the rest of you and say hi, and it's always great. We appreciate your attendance. Carol, can Dr. Martin discuss protein in the urine? I sure can. When you have protein in your urine, it's a sign that your kidneys are stressed. And I must emphasize again, you do not get kidney stress from eating too much protein. That was always the translation in a medical mind most of the time. Oh, you got protein in your urine. Your kidneys are being stressed. It must be because you're eating too much protein. No, you get protein in the urine because you're eating too much sugar, too many crappy carbohydrates. That's what stresses the kidney, not salt. It's sugar. It's not meat and eggs and protein. It's sugar. So whenever I saw protein in the urine, which I saw 1,000 times a year in my practice, I would tell them to change their diet. It's a one way your body tells you that you're eating too much sugar with no exceptions. Don't fool yourself. Don't be deceived. You know, for some people, they can get away with eating a few more carbs than others. Most people don't get away with it. Okay, so don't deceive yourself. Bobby, which is a better test, the CRP or the HSCRP, high sensitive, I guess high sensitivity CRP would be a little bit better, Bobby, but both are good. I like looking at the C. What is CRP? C-reactive protein. What is it? It is an inflammation marker in your body. Oftentimes we talk about silent inflammation. You don't even know it's there. For a lot of people, they think of inflammation as pain, and that's true. In a lot of ways, you can have pain or inflammation as fever, right? Yeah, that's true too. But CRP is out to measure the silent inflammation. Inflammation created by, remember we talked about this, I think it was even yesterday, high circulating insulin, leaky gut, and the number one cause really of inflammation is free radical damage, oxidative damage, glycation, AGE, glycation end products. These are things when you're eating too much sugar, it creates a lot of free radical damage. But high circulating insulin, one of its responses is inflammation. One way to measure it is CRP. And I'll tell you, for me, when I look at blood work, I want your CRP to be under 1. Because normal, anything under 3, actually there's some of them go to 6. But if you are above 1, you have silent inflammation. You need to do something about it. First thing you do is change your diet. Okay? Good questions. Kathy, I have a cyst. If you have, she's not saying she has a cyst, but maybe she does. If you have a cyst on your thyroid, how do you get rid of it? Well, don't feed it. Remember what your growth hormones are. What makes things grow? Insulin and estrogen. Insulin and estrogen. Knock them down. And if your thyroid is sluggish, usually it's because there's the thyroid, again, just remind you, the thyroid never acts on its own. It's a puppet. It's got strings attached to it. The strings is often, in women especially, estrogen dominance. They have too much estrogen. When you have too much estrogen, you're not converting T4 to T3. If you have leaky gut, you don't convert T4 to T3 properly. T3 is the hormone that your thyroid needs. I mean, it needs the other ones, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5, calcitonin, but T3 is the one that makes your thyroid work properly. And there's a lot of factors to that. If you have fatty liver, that's why a diet is so important, even for thyroid. You're not converting T4 to T3, okay? So this is really important, okay? So what makes a fibroid or a tumor or a cyst grow? It'll grow when you give it insulin. It's a growth hormone. So is estrogen. If you don't have enough balance between estrogen and progesterone, estrogen makes things grow. Ladies, not only on your thyroid, breast tissue. Breast tissue. Be very careful. Estrogen, estrogen, estrogen. Estrogen and insulin. Okay. Sharon, I've been reading about the benefits of artichoke oil for liver. What is Dr. Martin's take? Well, Sharon, I'm a simple guy, okay? And when it comes to the liver, there's no magic. Take this supplement, and the liver it does 600 things. And it's one of your organs that can regenerate, like nothing else. The liver, God gave you a liver, and he helps you regenerate it. But you do that mostly with food, not supplements, okay? Like there's no real, this is a liver cleanse. The best liver cleanse is stop eating carbs, because carbs are turned to fat in your liver. And guess what attracts toxins in your liver? Fat. So I'm just showing you some fat here this morning. See that? That's a pound of fat, by the way, okay? So the folks on listening later on this podcast, I'm just showing 1 pound of fat here, okay? If that fat gets into your liver, first of all, how does it get to your liver? Sugar. Well, Dr. Martin, I don't eat sugar. I just eat bread. That's sugar. And when fat gets in the liver, this fat in the liver, I mean, besides the fact that will elevate your triglycerides and lower your HDL, this fat in your liver is going to start picking up much more toxins. Fat attracts toxins. So you don't fix your liver by taking a supplement. Okay? I mean, there's some things that's always good. I love probiotics and blah, blah, blah. They have an indirect effect on the liver. Absolutely. But. Empty the liver and the liver will take care of itself. Empty it. How do you empty it? Lay off the carbohydrates. Man, oh man, I sound like a broken record. Okay, but good questions. It's all right. I want you to think along with me, okay? And if you want to take, Sharon, artichoke oil, I mean, it's not going to hurt you, okay? It's not going to hurt you. Is K2 alone, how many micrograms a day? Well, you can take up to about 45, I don't know, milligrams a day. You see, I'm not big on taking K2 alone, okay? If you know me, I put K2 in our vitamin D. There's a reason for it. It's perfectly proportioned to the amount of vitamin D you're taking. But I must re-emphasize that K2 is meant to be taken in food, okay? Food, cheese. Why don't I want you to ditch dairy? Because you need your cheese. Cheese has vitamin K2. Don't ditch dairy because butter has vitamin K2. God put it in nature for you to eat. Don't avoid it, okay? Now, some of you, that, oh, doc, I can't eat cheese. I feel sorry for you. Can you eat butter? Oh, yeah, I can have butter. Well, then butter everything. Butter your steak. Cook with butter. Because then you're going to get vitamin K2. If you want to take vitamin K2 as a supplement, the only time I recommend it, take it in proportion with our vitamin D, okay? Because I'd rather you eat. It's in nature. Eat it. Vitamin K2 is in nature. It's meant to be eaten. Some things, you know me in supplements. There's some I love. Absolutely I do. Okay? But there's some things I want you to eat. Get it in your food. And if you can't, well, just take vitamin D with the K2 because we proportioned it exactly what you need. And it's the best K2 in a supplement, the MK7. Okay, now, good question, Suzanne. DB. Okay, DB. Would someone be able to use vegetables and fruits glycemic index to limit carb intake? Yeah, they could. When you come out of the reset, I recommend the reset for everyone. Do it at least once a year. Some are going to eat reset almost always, exclusively. When you eat vegetables and fruit, remember this, okay? Please. I'm not big on the glycemic index. I'm big on, look, if it's in the ground, okay, like potatoes and things that are grown in ground, carrots and stuff like that, I'm not saying don't ever eat them. You got to really limit them because they're much more starchy, okay? They're much more starchy. And don't live on vegetables. I love the plant kingdom. but don't live on it. Don't live on it. Fruit, God's candies. Be careful. Don't eat too. Look, and you know me. I'm big on berries. I really like berries, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, especially the blueberries in Northern Ontario. Tremendous. Those things are nuggets. But don't live on it. Don't live on it. Now, kids, they can have much more fruit. Better that they have fruit than eat their cereal, for sure. But when you get older, you got any issues with insulin, don't live on bananas. Don't eat bananas. Okay? What are they, 49 M&Ms? Because your body doesn't know the difference. So that's what I don't like the glycemic index for, because they tell, oh, that's just a low, you don't need a lot of, your sugar don't go up. Your sugar don't go up, but your insulin goes up, big time. So I don't rely on that index, okay? And DB, if you want to learn that index and be careful with it, I got no problems. Keep your serum insulin levels low. Bonnie, what do you do for burning mouth? Well, usually find the cause. And generally, and I want to do a teaching on B12 again. I think it's time. We'll do that next week if we have time next week on B12. Burning mouth is usually a sign of low B12. Now, you could have a fungus in the mouth. I've seen that too. But generally, it's a sign that your B12 is low. And listen, my B12 is normal, according to my doctor. Guys, I like between 800 and 1200 for B12. A lot of people, they don't have optimized B12. And for some people, that will create symptoms like burning mouth syndrome. Okay? So, Bonnie, good question. Gabriella. What we suggest for friends with MRSA bug, superbug. Hey, that's a superbug and very dangerous. Guys, listen, we've been talking about this for a long time. Here is my protocol for superbugs. Here's my protocol, because I want you, I aim at your immune system. And if somebody picked up a superbug, the place that you pick up superbugs usually, guess where? Hospital. C. difficile. MRSA. The hospitals. It's worse than going to Afghanistan. You go to the hospital. Now listen, did I tell you not to go to the hospital? Of course not. What I'm telling you is there's more bugs in the hospital. And the reason there's superbugs, don't forget this, is the overuse of antibiotics. Okay? It's the overuse of antibiotics. Now again, you know me. If this is your first time, let me just repeat what I say almost weekly. Antibiotics save your life. The greatest discovery of the 20th century were antibiotics. Wonderful. The problem is the double-edged sword of antibiotics. They're overused, and bugs are intelligent. They develop a resistance. They become superbugs. And you know what else makes a superbug? When you over-clean. Quit over-cleaning everything. I just gotta put, when I go into a grocery store and I see those poor staff that spray down everything. They come near you at a restaurant. Here in Ontario, okay, for the rest of the world, we're finally able today's the day we can go back inside a restaurant. But you are taking your life into your hands. Why is that? Because they're going to come by 100 times a day and spray with these disinfectants You know, I feel like grabbing those young ladies or whatever and saying, listen, Linda, you're going to kill yourself. Don't worry about the bug. Worry about all those chemicals you're spraying. Squirt, 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 squirt. And some people, I followed people into, where was I the other day? I can't remember exactly. And they every time they see a bottle of, you know, the hand sanitizers, and I want to grab them. You got cancer in a bottle. Oh, by the way, did you see Johnson & Johnson? I blame Johnson & Johnson for all of this. Did you see? Oh, they recalled their sunscreen. Why? Cancer-causing chemicals. Hello? You folks out there in Facebook land, have you been hearing that from me for years now? Sunscreen. Add sunscreen with heat. Oh, that's when you use sunscreen. It's when the sun is out. Add heat to a chemical and you will often get a bad experience and a bad experiment. We're over cleaning. We got superbugs. You think bugs, you see, bugs have an intelligence. They're often smarter than human beings because we overdo everything. We're taking antibiotics when we don't need an antibiotic. I know women that have taken hundreds of antibiotics over the years for recurring urinary tract infection, and I say, don't do that. You take an antibiotic to get rid of the symptoms, and then you know, I know what they said. Oh, you got to finish it, got to finish it. Who made up that rule? The pharmaceutical companies made up that rule. It wasn't based on science. Oh, finish it. You got to do it all. Oh, that infection. No. You know what happens when you finish it? You are encouraging superbugs. They'll develop a resistance to it. So again, please don't misquote me. I'm not telling you not to take an antibiotic. Take it properly and take probiotics so that you don't get a superbug. Oil of oregano. Oh, now let's get back to the bug. I had to give you that dissertation first. Let's get back to what you do. There's nothing that will positively build your immune system better than Viderma, the sun, vitamin D. If you can't get the sun, take a supplement. Oil of oregano. I don't care what you tell me about any other colloidal silver, blah, 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 blah. I'm telling you that there's not a better antifungal, antiviral, antiparasitic, antibacterial in nature than oil of oregano. There isn't. I'm sorry, I've tried them all, and this is the best. So people say, Doc, you always say oil of oregano. I know, and they owe me money. When I had my radio show, I'm telling you, even the people at the health food stores say, Doc, you put oil of oregano on the radar. Everybody wants oil of oregano. I said, I know, send me check. No, but it's just because I had such a good experience. I'm telling you, it's nothing better than that. And it does not kill your good bacteria. So don't listen to the nonsense. It only kills the bad guys. That is an antibiotic in nature, you see. There's nothing better, nothing stronger. Okay? So on the vitamin D, get your vitamin D. Get your Viderma. Because it influences your T cell. And Stay away from sugar. You want to put your T cells, your Navy SEALs of your white blood cells to sleep? Have sugar and they'll have a siesta. Your white blood cells will go for a snooze. I've proven that to people. Okay. Sorry, Gabrielle. I get excited. Debbie, if you are outside for longer than 20 minutes, do you continue to get 10,000 IU? No. And I actually did a teaching on this. So if you want to go back in a podcast, I talked about the 4 ways you get vitamin D. One is from the sun. It's the best. Viderma. It's the best. There's nothing better. And if the truth be known, I talk to you ad nauseum about the narrative. Vitamin D does not fit the narrative because there's nobody making money on it. And I hate to be negative, but we live in a world where social media, the media, pharmaceuticals, and big foods, the conglomerates, and their little puppet politicians, lockstep together. And they don't want to hear about vitamin D. It is so established. It is, I just don't know how many more studies you need to have. And remember, when people do study on vitamin D, who's making money from that? No one. So they don't have a lot of money, but I'm telling you, okay? And I know, I'm not talking about vaccines or whatever. I'm not. But vitamin D, if they would give that to everyone, would have solved the problem. I'm just telling you. Just with that, they would have solved the problem of this pandemic. That's how effective vitamin D is. But it's not going to wash. It's not going to fly because, anyway, you guys understand how politics works, right? And it makes me upset because you know what I don't like? I don't like to be duped. I don't. And the world's being duped right now. It's a duping of the world. And, guys, I don't care whether you get vaccines or not. That's your decision. It's not my decision. I'm not going to tell you one way or another what to do, but I am going to tell you what to do beyond that. You better get Viderma because from cancer to viruses to your immune system to vitamin D is anti-inflammatory. It's a hormone. And you're not going to get too much when you go in the sun because your body knows exactly how much you need. So, again, I just repeat, don't burn in the sun. You only need 20 minutes or so. And as your skin gets more used to it, sunbathe longer. Just don't burn, okay? Don't burn. And don't use sunscreen. People get mad at that. They don't like to hear that. No, cover up. Put a hat on. Put your shirt on. Cover up. Cover up your kids. Let them go in the water with a t-shirt so it gets wet. Who cares? No, really. Don't let them burn, but they need vitamin D. Man, oh man, I'm uptight today. Jeepers. Okay, Doc, cool down. Okay, does chemotherapy or radiation affect the microbiome of the gut? Big time. Big time. Every oncologist in the universe should be telling their patients to take probiotics. Before, after, during, whatever. You know, it's essential, guys, essential. Yes, chemotherapy destroys, like an antibiotic, even worse, will destroy all your microbiome. And you need that for your immune system. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Barbara, what do I think about the Zoomers food sensitivity test? I like Mommy's sensitivity test better. What do I mean by that? I used to tell my mothers, okay, be Dr. Mom. What do you mean by that? Well, I said, you see your kid? You tell me what they're allergic to. You want to give me $600. I used to tell them this, okay, because I had kits in the office. Food allergy kits. I said, give me $600. I'll take your blood today. You can send out your blood to the lab. I'll send it out for you. $600. Guess what? The lab gave me $200 back. But you know what I used to say? And you ask the girls that work with me if this is true. Why don't you be Dr. Mom? You figure, guys, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out what you're allergic to. You want to know your sensitive, because sometimes if you got leaky gut, for example, every test is going to come back like, holy moly, I didn't know. I couldn't even eat blueberries because that went off the charts. Nah, it's because you got leaky gut. And you got antigens and histamine secreting for, almost every food you eat because you got leaky gut. But a true allergy is you eat it and you go, you know what? I don't feel so good. Okay, there's clue number one. Or you eliminate it. I used to tell my mamas, hey, Mom, go home, no milk for a week for the little one. Oh, yeah? Yeah. And then just see if they stop sniffling, stop having sore ears and runny noses all the time and whatever. It may be dairy and usually lactose or digestive trouble, lactose. Not found in cheese, by the way. That's why I don't want you to ditch dairy. I want you to switch dairy. No, but you know what? Like the Zoomers test, you know what? I used to have the best labs in the world for food allergies, but I didn't like them. I really didn't. If someone insisted on giving me $600, I said, okay, I surrender. Give me $600 and your blood's going out today, overnight, to the lab. You'll get a full report, and I get $200. That's the way it worked. But anyway, I shouldn't tell you inside secrets, right? What is Dr. Martin's opinion on IGF-1 growth hormone in red meat? Bull. You know what, Joss? Okay, now you have to understand. I come at this differently. We don't live in a perfect world, Joss. We just don't. For people that can afford organic and all this and that, wonderful for you. I really appreciate that. Good for you. And I say, if you can afford it, eat that way. And free range eggs and organic this and organic that. And when they say IGF-1 in red meat, or you know what? It's a growth hormone. So what's that mean? Is it bad for you? You see, the point is, okay, and just, again, I'm coming at this from my point of view, Joss. What am I saying? There is a world out there coming to a theater near you that wants to stop you from eating animal products, especially red meat. They want to get rid of that. It's a big, big industry coming. The meatless craze. It's a craze. It's not science. If you want to eat that soy crap, cancer crap, well, you go ahead. I wouldn't feed it to your dog. I really wouldn't. God put vitamins and minerals and in the animal kingdom that are not found in the plant kingdom. To me, if you want to follow the science, guys, that's the science. So when you read about IGF-1, HF, growth hormone, no. So I hope I answered your question, John. I admit I'm biased. I am very biased. I think I'm right. I'm convinced I'm right. And I'm going to scream against vegetarianism and veganism. It's a religion, folks. It's indoctrination. And boy, oh boy, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. I'm not optimistic. That's why I'm going after you guys. As individuals, you're not going to get sucked in to the nonsense. Oh, that's cancer. That makes your cancer grow. Sugar makes your cancer grow, Jaws. Sugar makes your cancer grow. That's what makes your cancer grow. Sugar. Not meat. Meat shrinks your cancer. How's that? Okay. Can you use Swerve, Elizabeth, after the reset? Sure you can. Bernice, why do I get crawling sensations all over all my body? Could be parasites. Could be. I got to do a session on parasites. I've been meaning to do that. It could be that, Bernice. Could be a deficiency. Often again, B12, low vitamin D. Those are the big ones. Okay. Cindy, my children take probiotic. Open up the capsules. Excellent. Do it. Doesn't it? Well, it makes the absorption even better. Now, we use veggie caps, okay? So they dissolve very rapidly and they're very good. No problem, okay? Julie, MS. Can I talk about it? Well, it's leaky gut. That's how it started. I always look at people that get autoimmune diseases and I classify Parkinson's as that. Look, I'm always looking what caused that. And usually when someone gets MS or Parkinson's or Sjogren's or rheumatoid, it's a perfect storm, okay? Because some people, they eat crap and they've taken a lot of antibiotics in their lifetime and they're set up for a storm, but they don't go into the storm necessarily. But people that get MS or whatever, it is a storm. It's usually a perfect storm. Antibiotics, I'm going to just tell you what I saw over the years. Leaky gut due to antibiotics, usually high stress. Always a stressful event in the life or a long period of stress. That can trigger a lot of inflammation. It happens to hit up in the brain, the MS, the plaque. Always leaky gut. Now, one thing they found with MS, low vitamin D. Low vitamin D, and that is a general thing through the population. People don't get enough vitamin D, and we're going to see a lot more MS, and we're seeing a lot more MS than we ever saw before. And I'm telling you, and it's usually in women. It's not always in women. It's usually in women. They're canaries in the coal mine. It's a perfect storm, okay? Very good question. Okay, let me get going because I'll never get out of here. Okay, now, MS. Red light therapy, Anna, not really my expertise. Hey, if you wanted curious about claims of, well, we've been talking, if you've been getting our emails about the mitochondria, we talked about how your mitochondria leak. The 3 leaks. Did you get our emails? If you don't get our emails, you're missing out on some great teaching. Okay? So mitochondria, those are your little battery packs within the cells. Does red light help them? I don't know. It's not my expertise. I can't say. I'm a food guy mostly, and so and unless I've done it, Anna, unless I've seen the results of it, I don't want to promote it or whatever. I only promote what I know. If I don't know about it, I'd rather say I don't know about it. Okay. Fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is found in the soil. Heather, look, it's a good question. I don't want to minimize the question. I really don't. But I'm looking at the big thing, okay? So when someone tells me about fulvic acid and it's in the soil, it's found in nature, well, then it's found in food. And I know that things get stripped away today and the world has changed and this, that, and the other thing. But again, I wouldn't, if you're going to take it as a supplement, if that's what you mean, for me, nah. You're much better taking a Himalayan salt or whatever, and you get your 84 minerals in that. And I'd rather you take a Himalayan salt because you need salt. You cry salt. Your blood is salt. Your saliva is salt. If someone calls you salty, take it as a compliment. You need to be salty, okay? Noel, Sophia, is it okay to take Navitol, Ultra, and aspirin? Well, if you're taking aspirin, that's you're following your doctor's advice. Remember, and I did a teaching on this a while back. I think I got almost 1 million views on it, on the aspirin, because this is a couple of years ago. It's at least 3 years ago that I did a complete thing on aspirin. And aspirin ain't what it's like. If you're having a heart attack and someone can give you an aspirin, that's a good idea. It really is. Okay? And paramedics and that, they carry aspirin with them to give to you. But to take it in prevention, the FDA years ago, at least 3 years ago, said don't do that because the risks outweigh the benefits. That's the FDA statement. That's not Dr. Martin's statement. I just taught about it. Navitol doesn't work the same way as aspirin. It doesn't thin your blood per se. What it does is it elevates your nitric oxide. So it actually opens up your blood vessels. That's what Navitol does. Does other things, and it helps with the mitochondria, but it opens up your blood vessels because it gives you nitric oxide. You'll see it advertised sometimes on American TV, the power of beets. You know what beats a beet? Pine bark. I see the advertisement and it goes, oh, beets. They elevate your nitric oxide. Yeah, good for them. So does the sun. So does Viderma. The reason I love Navitol is because I've been using it for 35 years. It is unreal. When you compare other... Noel's asking about benfotiamine. You know what that is? That is a synthetic B1. And Noel, again, I have no experience with taking that synthetic B1. Do I like B1? Absolutely, I like B1. I like your B vitamins. I like a B complex found in steak. Noel. So I would tell someone you want to do a now B12 is different. And even though B12 is only found in red meat, B12 is I often give that as a supplement. But the other B vitamins, you know what I tell people? Eat them. Have vitamin S, steak, and you're going to get all your B complex. Much more than the plants. Okay? Noel? Carolyn, can you give a rant on wine? Okay. They use glyphosates, and that's, probably to spray that. Look, again, Carolyn, here's an overarching principle for me is good luck living in this world. If glyphosates don't eat you or bite you, plastic will bite you. I mean, it's everywhere. From Mount Everest to the placenta. You ain't getting away from it. Now, I'm not saying don't try, but I'm saying you're not going to get away from it. Now, what do I think about wine? Be careful. I always tell people like that because, I don't know, this happened about 30 years ago. I saw it change in my practice. All these women were drinking wine. Oh, they're working all day, and I got to have a glass of wine at night. I mean, I love that. And it calmed them down, and they were, women, they worked like dogs. I have nothing but respect for women. But I used to burst their little balloons when they come into the office. Psst. Be careful. You want to lose weight. You can't have wine at night. You're paying me money to lose weight. I said, you got to go home and stop drinking wine. Oh, doc, I need it. Okay. Look, there's some medicinal benefits, okay? I get all that. I understand that. But be careful. You can't, alcohol. There was a study that came out yesterday. I've got it here somewhere, okay? But I don't have time. I'll somebody remind me. I'll bring it to you. Like alcohol, it takes a direct route to your liver. We talked about high fructose corn syrup yesterday. Or the day before. And I'm telling you, alcohol takes a direct route to the liver. Okay, couple more and we're out of here. Costus powder, henna, a root powder. It's an Indian powder. I like curcumin better. Okay? I use curcumin. I love curcumin. Better. Costus powder, you like it? Take it. Not going to hurt you. It's good for you. I just like curcumin clinically better. Rakai. I hope I said that right. Okay, Rakai, vitamin D in the sun. We talked about that. If you still need vitamin K2, what's the ratio? Well, again, and the sun will not allow you to build up your vitamin D3 too high. It just won't. It's not the way you do it. The only way you can really build your levels too high is if your kidneys are not working properly or your liver's not working properly. So I've discussed that, okay? So I'd rather you eat your vitamin K2. I just emphasize that again, okay? But if you're going to take it in a supplement, we've got it in the perfect ratio in our vitamin D, okay? Now, I talked to Wendy about histamine intolerance. I don't want to get into it. Because, Gerald, should I do a biopsy? I'm not going to tell you that, Gerald. I can't tell you that. All I know about prostate biopsies, you got to fix the problem. Don't feed the bears. The prostate will grow with insulin and estrogen. The same thing that gives you breast cancer in women gives prostate cancer in men. It's insulin, food, and estrogen. Xenoestrogens, all the plastics, all the chemical sprays and the cleaners and air fresheners and all that garbage that they're using to get rid of the virus. Ooh. Okay, I got 3 more. I tell you what, I'm marking them down. I'm going to talk about them next week because we'll be here forever. Okay, guys, I mean this. I do. Look at my eyeballs. Look at me. I love you guys. You don't know how much I appreciate you guys coming on every day, putting up with Dr. Martin. I get tired of myself every once in a while. No, but you guys are great, okay? Share this. Share the information. Be a little disciple. I know a lot of you are. And you have no idea how much I appreciate that. Okay? Love you guys. Talk to you soon.